way to the appeals from 5 states that were seeking to prohibit gay marriage?
We've seen those reports. I don't have a specific reaction to their decision not to take, not to grant review in these cases. The president himself has previously expressed his own personal view that it's wrong to prevent same-sex couples who are in loving, committed relationships and want to marry from doing so. A growing majority of Americans already recognize that marriage equality embodies our American values of fairness under the law. It's certainly the president's view here, too. But in terms of the Supreme Court's specific decision not to grant cert in these cases, I don't have a specific reaction.
Given the number of states that, after this decision, are now able to legally have gay marriage, does he feel, and given the statement that you just said about his position, does he feel like this should just simply be extended to all Americans?
Well, there may ultimately be a role for the Supreme Court to play, and the justices on the Supreme Court will make that decision. But in terms of what the president believes should be the law of the land, we've been pretty clear about that, too.
Okay. The vice president had to apologize twice over the weekend, once to Turkey and once to the UAE, about comments that he made about those countries and others and their role in supporting extremist groups inside Syria. And I'm wondering if you can just be a little more specific about why he apologized, because some of what he said has been repeated by other administration officials in the past. The president himself has talked about how countries in the region have had a role in allowing money and weapons, foreign fighters, to flow into Syria. So what was he specifically apologizing for?
What the vice president conveyed was an apology for, as it relates to President Erdogan, mischaracterizing the president's views in a private conversation. And that ultimately was the reason for the call. The United States...
Erdogan didn't say what the vice president said?
Well, I don't want to characterize what President Erdogan said in his private conversation with Vice President Biden. But what I can characterize is the relationship that the United States has with Turkey and other nations in the region to prevent the flow of weapons and personnel and broader support to extremists in the region, particularly to ISIL. There is no doubt that Turkey and other countries in the region understand the threat that ISIL poses to the region and to these individual countries. And that is why the United States, under the President's leadership, has had success in building broad international support for the actions that we've taken against ISIL. I think many people who are examining the situation were surprised at the strong reaction and at the deep involvement of Muslim-governed countries or Muslim-majority countries who took part alongside American fighter pilots in taking military strikes against ISIL. That is an indication that ISIL is not at war against the United States. They're at war against the broader world, including the Muslim world. And what's so critical to our efforts will be moderate elements in the Muslim world standing up and being clear that the violence and extremism that is propounded by ISIL does not reflect what their religion is.